Hello everyone, welcome to Live Interactive English. I'm Mike.
And I'm Sam.
And we are continuing our look at graduation traditions around the world. Now yesterday, Sam, you told us you got to experience several of these graduation traditions.
Yes.
The ones especially that started in Britain, but now people in America can, I'm sure Australia, many places do. So the gown and the cap, you wore that. Do you remember moving the tassel from one?
Yes. Yes, because actually there was,
in the article.
It was like we were sitting there, we were listening to the speech, and that was actually like part of the speech.
Okay.
Where they say, you may now move your tassels from the right to the left.
Wow,
so
your
it was like a
parents
big
all
thing.
clap or something like. Okay, but these are, especially these weird hats and the gown, this isn't something you wear to the shopping mall. This isn't something you wear around your house on a Sunday morning. So did you even own that thing, or do you just borrow it for a day? Like some people might just rent a wedding dress or something, right?
I think actually a lot of people do rent them. I remember I bought both of mine. I'm not totally sure why. Probably because I like to hold on to things, so I probably convinced my parents to buy it.
That was my question. You have it now.
Yes, I still have both of them. I have the blue one and I have the black one at my parents' house.
Can you wear it to work?
If they ship it to me, yeah.
Oh, it's still in America.
It's in
okay,
America.
but it is something you want to hold on to.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. Okay, interesting. And did you use the same one because you said you had two different university or college graduations?
Yeah.
Do you use it again?
Normally you do, but I didn't actually go to the big graduation one because the big one in our university is like literally everyone who is graduating at that time, which is like thousands of people, and it takes like 4 hours. So I didn't go to that one. I went to the smaller departmental one.
Okay.
But normally you would have. I think you use the same one.
Cool. I think the next time you go home, you should take it out and just wear it around the house.
Yeah, just remind myself.
Yeah, maybe go shopping in it. Just tell people, I haven't worn it in a few years. I
want to remember.
It's a nice memory. Well, it is a nice memory.
It is,
and that's why it's a good idea to hold on to these things. So let's look at more graduation traditions, more of the interesting clothing that people might wear, and some of the other interesting things they do to celebrate graduation.
Italy. Italian graduates must first appear in front of an academic board to answer questions about their field of study. After they've passed this test, graduates receive their degrees and are crowned with a laurel wreath. Once that's over, the fun begins. In a tradition known as trashing, family and friends throw substances like ketchup, flour, syrup, and eggs at graduates, covering them from head to toe.
Okay, so we are going to continue with our article, Graduation Traditions Around the World, Part 2. So we've already seen a couple countries. We've seen Britain and we've seen Sweden and seen how they graduate over there and what they do. They've got gowns and caps and military caps and, gifts.
Hang things on your gifts and back of a truck, wave at the friends. Yep, okay.
But now we're going to look at Italy.
Right.
What does Italy do?
So they throw pizzas at each other.
That would make sense.
That would be my dream. All right.
So let's see. So
yes.
It says, Italy. Italian graduates must first appear in front of an academic board to answer questions about their field of study. After they've passed this test, graduates receive their degrees and are crowned with a laurel wreath. Wow, way more serious than I was thinking.
That sounds scary.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I wonder if this is for undergraduate or if this is for PhD, because don't you have to do that for your master's or PhD?
You do, yeah, but they didn't say that. So maybe it's if you graduate even from high school and maybe certainly from university. It sounds quite serious, quite formal, but really it's just the way they do their final exams there.
Yeah.
You do it more as an interview or as a speech, maybe rather than writing a test or something like that. But the idea is that, of course, you will graduate, you will pass that test, and then you will be able to leave school, and part of it is they will be crowned with a laurel wreath. Now, this is something that goes back to Roman times. They used to crown emperors and heroes with a laurel wreath. I believe even at the early ancient Olympics, people would be crowned with a laurel wreath. A laurel wreath is basically, laurel is a type of plant. A wreath is when you take some branches of a plant and turn it into a circle, kind of like a hat or kind of like a crown. Now here we're using crown as a noun. A crown is that fancy golden jeweled hat that a king or a queen will wear, right? If you see that person standing in the middle with the nicest clothes, with the nicest little metal, gold, whatever hat, that must be the king. He's wearing the crown. Now, when we give the king the crown, or when we make that prince a king or a princess a queen, we are crowning that person. So basically, it's to put a crown or some other special hat on top of a person as part of a tradition, a ritual, some kind of important ceremony. For example, the man crowned the prince with a circle of gold, which was decorated with precious jewels. Sounds like a crown.
Yeah, sounds like a crown.
Okay, so you've passed your test. You've had this laurel wreath put on your head as you are crowned as a graduate of the school. That's all pretty, formal and traditional. What about the other stuff? Well, the article says, once that's over, the fun begins. In a tradition known as trashing, family and friends throw substances like ketchup, flour, syrup, and eggs at graduates, covering them from head to toe.
Ooh.
Basically, you get in a big food fight with your friends,
seriously.
and you lose because it's everyone against you, but you end up being a big, happy mess.
Hopefully you know about this beforehand.
Yes.
I would guess so. So you probably are not going to wear something super nice. Because at our graduation, you dress up really fancy.
No, don't wear your nice clothes for your trashing.
Threw syrup at me. Oh boy, I would not be happy about that. But we had this word substance in the article. So substance is a noun, and substance actually is kind of a little bit of a tough word to describe because it really is just stuff, like physical matter that you can see. So as you can see, they say throw substances like ketchup, syrup, flour, eggs. Those are all just things. They're just stuff, right? And so we have this example sentence where we can see it used in a little bit different of a way. We have Marcia had someone take care of the green substance that was covering the walls of her bathroom. So she was in the bathroom. She saw that there's some kind of something icky or gross or just something on the wall, and she's not sure exactly what it is, so she just called it a substance. It's a thing on the wall, but it's not alive, probably. Well, I guess if it's mold, it could be. It
probably is alive, yeah, but she doesn't know what it is.
Know. So she says substance.
Exactly.
Stuff.
It's a handy word to talk about things that it's not really important what it is, or maybe you don't know. It's just substance, and often it has kind of a, what is that substance on the bottom of your shoe? It smells bad, something like that. All right, so you're going to get covered with substance. It's going to make you a big mess, but you will have graduated in Italy, so well done. Let's take a break, and then we'll be back with more.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny， 今天要来继续看世界各地的毕业传统。那下一站就是意大利。意大利毕业生必须先在学术委员会面前要回答相关研究领域的问题。那通过考试之后，就能获得学位，被戴上桂冠。好，这个严肃的仪式呢，一旦结束之后，乐趣就开始喽。他们有一项传统叫做 trashing 恶搞。这个 trash 当动词的时候，可以表达可能是故意的损坏啊，把它弄得乱七八糟。在这边是用动名词 trashing。那在这样的传统里面，亲朋好友就会朝着毕业生去丢番茄酱啊、面粉、糖浆、蛋等等的东西，把它们弄到从头到脚满身都是。好，那我们来看单字 crown。crown 当动词呢，可以用来表达帮某人这样戴上皇冠的那种意思啊，为某人加冠加冕。那么 crown A with B 就是指说将 B 戴在 A 的头上。文中它用到这个被动语态 be crowned with a laurel wreath， 就是表达被戴上桂冠的意思哦。好，麦克老师在讲到仪式的时候，他用到 ritual，ritual 表示仪式庆典。好，下一个单字 substance 它可以指物质啊，或是东西。那例句它就写到说，浴室墙上有那种绿色物质，听起来是不是很恶心？老师这时候用到 gross，gross 就是令人恶心的、令人厌恶的。还有提到 mold。 在这边不是模具的意思哦，老师说的是霉菌的意思 ，mold mold 霉菌。好，这边一个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，我们来看这个重点是 once 的用法。once 当连接词，可以引导副词子句去表达一旦怎么样，一怎么样就怎么样，就相当于 as soon as。它在引导子句的时候呢，可以把它摆在主要子句的之前或者是之后。举例来说 ，I'll text you once I get there。我一到那里就会传讯息给你的。好，那么 once 当副词呢，可以表达一次、一回，或者是表达曾经的意思。我们就来造2个例句。I've only been to Singapore once。我只去过新加坡1次。The TV show was once very popular。那个电视节目曾经很受欢迎。好，接回到课文中。
Japan. During Japanese high school graduation ceremonies, graduates typically wear their regular school uniforms while they sing songs and perform marching routines. Female graduates might ask for the second button of a male graduate's school uniform, but only if the girl likes the boy. Some schools don't have school uniforms, so in these cases, graduates wear formal clothing, such as a suit or hakama, a kind of kimono. Finland. Finnish PhD graduates typically wear a black hat and carry a special sword to their ceremony. These items symbolize the freedom of research and the fight for what is good, right, and true. The sword is traditionally worn at the waist on the left side of the body. Whether your ceremony includes tassels, ketchup, ribbons, or swords, these diverse traditions prove that graduation is a meaningful event that closes the book on an important time in a student's life.
All right, we're back. So the fourth country whose graduation traditions we're going to look at is a country not too far from here. So maybe some of their traditions are similar to some of the traditions that kids here would also enjoy or experience. What country are we talking about? Japan. It says during Japanese high school graduation ceremonies, graduates typically wear their regular school uniforms while they sing songs and perform marching routines. Okay,
right.
I think I've seen some kids here practicing marching routines, so maybe it's very similar. They're not wearing special clothes, they're wearing their normal uniforms, they're singing songs, maybe about how proud they are and how happy they are to have gone to the school, and they do some marching routines like kids often do, or like marching bands will do, but this is something all the graduates will do, and I imagine the teachers and the parents, they sit and watch.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And so we had this word march in there. So march is a verb, and it is a type of walking, and it's usually you have a little bit higher legs, and it's usually that you're walking in a very specific time. And so you see it marching a lot in marching bands. Maybe in the military, they will be marching as they walk along so that everybody is in sync and walking at the same pace and same speed and same tempo and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah. And so we have our example sentence. We have a 320-piece band marched in the parade, and
That's
so they
big band,
a huge band, but they're all walking in the same same way, so it looks uniform too.
Right, and sometimes those bands or the high school students in Japan, they kind of plan it out, so they make interesting patterns, they're kind of walking through each other, past each other, doing all that kind of stuff. And when you do something sort of organized with a set of organized actions, we might call that a routine. We could use routine kind of like a schedule, what you normally do in your daytime. My routine is to wake up at 7:30, brush my teeth, make my breakfast, catch the 8:15 bus. But here, no, we're talking more about a marching routine, a dance routine, a routine of actions that a certain person might take. You know, if you want to do this job, these are the different steps that you do, the different actions you do in this order, and you will remember if you've ever done any dancing. They'll say, okay, 2 steps over here, 3 steps over here, spin around 2 times. You remember the routine, and then you do it, and everyone's actions, everyone's performance will be the same because they're following the same routine. For example, Hannah and her friends will practice their dance routine after school. Most of them are pretty good, but Mary, she always gets left and right confused.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah, that's hard sometimes.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't be a dancer. Anyway, and then if we continue on, so still in Japan, we have female graduates might ask for the second button of a male graduate's school uniform, but only if the girl likes the boy. Some schools don't have school uniforms, so in these cases, graduates wear formal clothing such as a suit or hakama, a kind of kimono.
Oh, very interesting.
Yeah, so they have a little tradition of like, hey, I always liked you this whole time. I didn't tell you when I was in school, but I'll take the button so you know now.
Okay. Do you want my phone number too so you can call me? You're just going to wander around saying, I have to find my dream boy. I have his button. And also, is it the top button or the bottom button?
I think they said a second button, so it must be...
From the top or the bottom?
Oh, good question.
From the top? From the top.
Probably from the top.
Because then you have a nice looking shirt. All right, well, that's very interesting. I've never heard of that one, but that does actually sound really sweet, and you might hold on to your favorite high school friend's button or something like that. Very lovely. Let's move to a very different part of the world, Finland. Again, Northern Europe, near Sweden, but not quite, but obviously far from Japan. And then we learn in Finland, Finnish PhD graduates. Okay, so Finnish PhD graduates typically wear a black hat and carry a special sword to their ceremony. Wow. These items, the black hat and the sword, symbolize the freedom of research and the fight for what is good, right, and true.
Wow.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
I like the sword too. The sword is traditionally worn at the waist on the left side of the body. Well, that's pretty normal. You wear a sword on a belt around your waist, right? That's kind of the middle part of your body. I think the left, right? Because most people are right-handed.
Yeah, usually.
So you pull out your sword like that, and you have your black hat, and this all sort of symbolizes you'll use the sword to fight for truth and honesty and all those good things.
Yes, and if we continue, we have whether your ceremony includes tassels, ketchup, ribbons, or swords, these diverse traditions prove that graduation is a meaningful event that closes the book on an important time in a student's life.
Absolutely, a meaningful event. They have these meaningful traditions. The clothing can be meaningful, you know, all the different actions and routines they might perform because these things are important. They mean a lot. They are important to you. If something is meaningful, it's important. It might be important like I can't forget my airplane is leaving tomorrow, or it could also be important on an emotional, personal level, like if, you know, your grandfather wrote you a card right before he died, or something sad and important in your life, you'd also say, it's meaningful. Those little treasures you'll never throw away, whether it's a gift when you're a kid or a picture of you and your friends or something. If it really means a lot to you, if it's important to you, it's meaningful. For example, Bill has built many meaningful relationships with clients over the years. These are clients and they're also friends, so these are important relationships. All right, let's look at our what do you think question. What do you think? What are some other graduation traditions?
Yes.
Maybe from your school, your country, or just interesting ones you've heard about.
Yeah, so the one that I've heard about is from my country, and I also did see it at my school. So I heard that in Hawaii, when somebody graduates, they will give their friends and family all give them a lei, which is a necklace made out of the very famous flower from Hawaii. And so the point is, what's funny about this is that everyone gives them a lei, and so sometimes they will have leis like up to here, and they're all totally packed and they can't really move their head.
They're drowning in flowers.
Yes, and I actually saw that in my graduation was in Seattle, and I had a couple friends from Hawaii. They had many lei necklaces on, and so they were quite puffy.
Of course, that makes sense. Anyone who's been to Hawaii, even as a tourist, often at the hotel, they'll give you a lei.
Yes.
That's L-E-I. It's basically a Hawaiian necklace made of flowers. I like that tradition.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't want to hold on to those flowers because eventually they'd be smelly. All right, then, guys, thanks for joining us. We hope you have a really good graduation. If you happen to be graduating this year, congratulations, all the best. And we look forward to seeing you somewhere else, maybe back here in the future. Until then, Can I do the song again?
Yeah.
You can wave like you're waving to your grandma. Bye-bye.
好，下一站是日本。在日本的毕业典礼上，毕业生通常会穿着平时的校服，一边唱歌一边行军。那女毕业生可能会向男毕业生要他校服上面的第2颗纽扣，但只有在女生喜欢男生的时候才会这么做。好，来看单字 march。march 可以表达行军、行进、齐步走的意思。CM 老师解释单字时，他用到 in sync 去表达同步、协调。来看一下 sync 这个字 ，S-Y-N-C， 它其实是 synchronization 的缩写 ，S-Y-N-C-H-R-O-N-I-Z-A-T-I-O-N。那这个字表示同步、同时进行。好，那我们来学一下 in sync 的相反，就是 out of sync， 表示不同步、不协调。下一个单字 routine， 它表示惯例、常规。在课文当中呢，它就是指可能在表演当中的它的一套动作啊、舞步等等。好，麦克老师解释单字时，他有用到 organized 这个字，就是 organize 后面再加上 d 变成形容词，就可以形容是有组织的、有条理的。最后一站是芬兰。芬兰的博士毕业生啊，通常会戴黑帽子，然后带一把特殊的剑参加典礼，这象征着研究自由，还有为良善、正义、真理而战。好 ，CM 老师还有聊到夏威夷的一项毕业传统，则是为毕业生去戴上花环。有的人会收到一大堆的花环，然后被挤在花里面，整个人看起来蓬蓬的，很有趣。那看了这么多不同的传统，不管哪一种啊，其实都证明了毕业是我们生命中的重要时刻。单字 meaningful 就是形容重要的、有意义的。那也补充一下 CM 老师说的 lei lei 就是指花环，我们在夏威夷常看人家戴的那一种。还有 packed packed 表示挤满的。还有 puffy puffy 可以形容是蓬松的、松软的。最后我们来看2个重点，进入文法时间。好，我们来看一个重点是 ask somebody for something， 它是表达可能是向某人去索取或是要求什么什么，那你也可以用 ask for something 表达。举例来说 ，We asked the clerk for some extra napkins， 我们向店员多要几张纸巾。再来看下一个重点是 only if， 表示只有什么什么才能怎么样，或者是除非怎么样怎么样。Only 在这边是用来强调 if 所引导的条件句，例如 I will forgive you only if you apologize， 只有在你道歉的情况下，我才会原谅你哦。好，那么以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
Italy. Italian graduates must first appear in front of an academic board to answer questions about their field of study. After they've passed this test, graduates receive their degrees and are crowned with a laurel wreath. Once that's over, the fun begins. In a tradition known as trashing, family and friends throw substances like ketchup, flour, syrup, and eggs at graduates, covering them from head to toe. Japan. During Japanese high school graduation ceremonies, graduates typically wear their regular school uniforms while they sing songs and perform marching routines. Female graduates might ask for the second button of a male graduate's school uniform, but only if the girl likes the boy. Some schools don't have school uniforms, so in these cases, graduates wear formal clothing such as a suit or hakama, a kind of kimono. Finland. Finnish PhD graduates typically wear a black hat and carry a special sword to their ceremony. These items symbolize the freedom of research and the fight for what is good, right, and true. The sword is traditionally worn at the waist on the left side of the body. Whether your ceremony includes tassels, ketchup, ribbons, or swords, these diverse traditions prove that graduation is a meaningful event that closes the book on an important time in a student's life.
I'm Jamie.
Hey everybody, I am Shane.
And we are playing Guess the Bear today, where we each have cards with 3 words or phrases on them, but instead of saying them, we're going to say the word bear, and the other person has to guess what the word or phrase is.
And I'm really bad at this game, so I'm going to let you go first, okay?
Okay,
All right.
1 minute on the clock.
Okay, you ready? Let's go now. Okay, so this is a noun. 1 word. He was bored with the same old bear. I shower and have coffee as part of my morning bear.
Routine.
Woo! Okay, adjective, 1 word. They had a bear discussion about the problem. She wanted to do something bear with her life.
Serious?
No.
Intense?
No.
Please, can you say it again?
No, they had a bear discussion about the problem. She wanted to do something bear with her life.
Skip it.
Okay? Phrase, 2 words. Ben can go to the party. Bear, bear, he finishes homework. I'll go with you. Bear, bear, you give me a ride.
Only if?
Yes, very good. They had a bear discussion about the problem. She wanted to do something bear with her life.
Meaningful.
Yay, you are good.
Thank you. All right. Are you ready?
Not really, because I'm really bad at this game. But okay, go ahead.
I'm sure you'll do fine. All right, ready?
We'll see.
Go. Okay. 1 word verb. The band bared in the 4th of July parade, and a group of soldiers bared past the building.
What's the first one?
The band bared in the 4th of July parade, and a group of soldiers bared past the building.
Opened. No. Next one.
It's okay. Noun, 1 word. She cleaned up the gray bear on the floor, and what is this smelly bear on your shoes?
Stain?
Close. She cleaned up the gray bear on the floor, and what is this smelly bear on your shoes?
Next.
Okay.
I don't know.
1 word verb. Elizabeth was bared queen in 1953,
Okay.
and after the race, he was bared the winner.
Crowned.
Good, yay!
I got 1 at least. Okay, give me the first one again.
Okay. The band bared in the 4th of July parade. A group of soldiers bared past the building.
Performed?
Oh.
Walked?
What is soldiers? Close to walk. Oh.
What is it?
March. So the band marched in the 4th of July parade, and a group of soldiers marched past the building.
And
And
next one?
the next one was substance. So she cleaned up the gray substance on the floor. And what is this smelly substance on your shoes?
Not fair. I really think that was too difficult.
like, cut out hard.
Substance? Come on.
No one really, I don't know. It's kind of a rare word
I
to
knew
say.
I wasn't going to be good at this.
See you next time.